Hi everyone, Dr. Mike here. In this video, we're going to take a look at the spinal cord and we're going to have a look at ascending pathways. These are sensory signals that are being sent from our external or internal environment to our brain and brain stem. Now, what I've drawn up here is a spinal cord. So let's pretend I've pulled out your spinal cord and I've sliced through the spinal cord right at the lumbar area. So this is around here. And we're looking now bird's eye view into the spinal cord. A couple of things that you can see. First thing is here in the middle, you've got what we call grey matter. Now this grey matter is simply where one neuron will speak to the next neuron. So this is where neurons synapse, this is where conversations are had, this is where information is integrated, all right? Now the rest of it, everything else out here is called white matter and they are pathways. They're highways that are either going up to the brainstem and brain or they're going down so they can be shot out and away for motor signals. So everything going up, which is ascending or afferent, is going to be sensory information. Everything going down is going to be motor or efferent information. Now on the left hand side we've got motor, descending, efferent. This side we've got ascending, afferent or sensory information. So in this video we're just going to focus on everything going to the brain for sensory information. Okay, a couple of things as well. Firstly, every time some sort of sensory information is going into the brain stem, so think about it, let's just say I were to touch something with my fingertip, sensory information is going down my arm into my spinal cord. Now it enters the spinal cord from the back. So all sensory information will come into the spinal cord via the back. All motor output is going to be coming out via the front. So dorsal, sensory, anterior, ventral, motor. Now, when this sensory information comes in, it's got a couple of decisions it can make. You can see I've highlighted some green areas here on the spinal cord. These green areas are highlighting the pathways they can take up to the brainstem and brain. All right, let's have a look. Depending on the type of sensory information, if it jumps into what we call the dorsal column medial lemniscus pathway, okay, terrible name, but if it jumps into this pathway and goes up to the brain, it's because it's going to be some form of fine touch. So that's if somebody were to touch my arm or hand like this, fine touch, or conscious proprioception. Proprioception is knowing where you are in your own space. You know how much your arm is contracted because there are muscle spindles and Golgi bodies that are in your joints that tell you how contracted a muscle or joint is. This is important for knowing where you are in your own space. It's why when you close your eyes, you can touch your nose, okay? So that type of information is going to jump into the dorsal column medial lemniscus pathway, go up to the brain. Now, if this sensory information originates below thoracic level 6, it's going up via the fasciculus gracilis. That's the pathway it's going up. If it's happening above T6, it's going to be coming in via the fasciculus cuneatus. So they're the different highways that this sensory information can take. Now we've got the spinocerebellar. Spino, referring to the spinal cord. Cerebella is referring to the cerebellum. This is that small brain. It literally means small brain. You find at the back and underneath the cerebrum. And what that's there for is for proprioception and balance. Again, knowing where you are in your own space and balance. So here, the type of information we're getting in is going to be unconscious proprioception. Okay? So this unconscious proprioception can come in, either go via the dorsal or ventral spinocerebellar tracts. That's these two here. What are the differences between the two? Well, the dorsal spinocerebellar tract simply will take information from the same side that comes in and bring it straight up on the same side of the brain to the cerebellum. The ventral spinocerebellar will bring information in, throw it to the other side, bring it up, and then throw it back to the other side before it goes to the cerebellum. It seems to be that the dorsal spinocerebellar sends information during movement and the ventral spinocerebellar sends information about that movement. As we move down, we've got the anterolateral system. This anterolateral system has two major types, the lateral spinothalamic and the ventral spinothalamic. Okay, the lateral spinothalamic, which you can see here, is very important when it comes to pain and temperature. So this is sending information about pain and temperature, and as you can see, when it comes in, if it's more medial, so towards the midline of the spinal cord, it's bringing information from the cervical or neck region. Then as it goes more lateral, the thoracic, lumbar and sacral region. So for example, if information is coming in about pain in my foot, it'll come in and go onto the most lateral aspect of the lateral spinothalamic tract. If it's coming in about pain maybe my arm, for example, it's going to go all the way to the middle aspect. Okay? The other thing about pain is when the signal comes in, it crosses immediately to the other side. Okay? So this is also for touch as well. Anytime somebody touches your hand or puts a painful stimulus on the hand, it's going to go into the spine and ultimately cross to the other side. If it's pain, it crosses immediately. If it's touch, it won't cross until it gets up towards the brainstem. All right, the lateral, like I said, is pain and temperature, and the ventral spinothalamic is crude touch. So crude touch is going to be pressure-based touch as well. And as you can see, it comes in via this little pathway as well. Now in the next video, we're going to talk about motor output coming down.